with what's happened today?
Look, the latest information we have is that Sheikh Jassim from Qatar will make a second bid for Manchester United next week. I'm being told that bid is probably likely to go in sometime around Wednesday, maybe. I was told earliest midweek next week that he will be putting in this second bid. He's definitely putting in this second bid. The question is, will it be close or closer to the asking price that the Glazers want, which is about £6 billion. Now, I don't know the exact figure. Nobody has been able to confirm what the first bids were, but I've got a sense that it will be closer to £6 billion. And my information is that Sheikh Jassim, like all the other bidders in this process, is willing to overpay for Manchester United. They're willing to overpay because Manchester United is one of the crown jewels of sport, and it hardly ever becomes available on the market. Now, a US banking insider who is involved in the process, I was speaking to earlier today, said to me, all the numbers people from the bidders will be working out the real value of the club over the next few days. They will all be making second bids. The reality is their first bids were just indicative. In this process, the second bids next week are really the first serious bids. So I think next week is going to be a very, very important week for the future of Manchester United, because we're going to get serious, concrete bids on the table. And the information I have is the Qataris, they're not the kind of people who usually lose out when it comes to buying something they really, really want.
Well, that's a significant shift, isn't it? Because you've sat in that chair and said they won't overpay, and now we're hearing they'll do whatever it takes. So they really do want the club.
When I say they will overpay, I mean everybody is willing to overpay. I've been told they're not going to be reckless. If somebody puts in a £10 billion offer for Manchester United, I don't think the Qataris are going to go, look, we don't want to lose face, we don't want to miss out, we're going to bid £10.5 billion. They're not going to do something stupid. Their bid will be based on what they think Manchester United is worth now and what it could be worth in the future. It will be sensible, but if you want to buy Manchester United, you're going to have to pay more. It's going to have to be a world record for a sports club. That's what I mean when I say that they're willing to overpay. And they've got some serious competition with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, because Sir Jim Ratcliffe was willing to invest £4.5 billion in buying Chelsea last summer. So he's got the money to buy Manchester United. But does he have the money to outbid the Qataris? I'm not so sure.
Well, there he was. He's at United today. And what do we know about what went on?
Yeah, I mean, interesting that he turned up in person. I think you could see behind him as well a familiar face, Sir Dave Brailsford, who used to be head of British Cycling. He was also head of Team Sky. He is now involved with Ineos. He's the Ineos Director of Sport. That is why he was there. And interesting contrast between the fact that Sir Jim turned up in person for these meetings, whereas Sheikh Jassim didn't. I think the feeling from Sheikh Jassim was that, look, this is not the time for me to appear. The Glazers are not going to be there, so I'm not going to be there either. This is not the moment for the principals involved to be showing their faces. But as far as Sir Jim Ratcliffe is concerned, he's very hands-on. I think in the past, when Ineos have bought other companies, he has always been at the forefront of what they've been doing. And today, they'll be doing what Sheikh Jassim's delegation did yesterday, speaking to Manchester United, listening to presentations, looking at some of the numbers, looking at Old Trafford, looking at the Carrington training ground. One other point I would make to you is I thought it was really significant that the Manchester United chief executive, Richard Arnold, was outside Old Trafford on the red carpet welcoming Sir Jim Ratcliffe. That was a real public show by Manchester United for the man who runs the club to be there on the red carpet waiting to shake Sir Jim Ratcliffe's hand and welcome him to Old Trafford. Does that mean that the Glazers really, really are serious about selling Manchester United? One way of looking at that would be, if they're not really, really serious, would the main man, the man who runs the club, be out there greeting prospective new owners? I'm not sure.
So you said earlier, next week is significant. We're expecting second bids from both these parties?
Yes, I think all the leading bidders will put in second bids next week. They will be serious bids. They will be bids that will be based on more financial information that they've been able to get this week. My information is that it will be at some point next week. I've been asking the question, will it be Monday? Will it be Tuesday? I was told earliest midweek next week. There's a report in the Daily Mail today. Mike Keegan, who's been across this story from day one, he is saying that the deadline is Wednesday. He believes that all bids have to be in on Wednesday. I haven't been able to confirm that. The only information I have is that next week, midweek, the second bids will be going in.